Hi everyone, my name is Donnie Lowy. I'm here at CloseoutExplosion.com. I hope you're doing really well. The next time you're in New York, you're welcome to visit my closeout business. Today I'd like to discuss with you how to liquidate your wholesale merchandise. There are many reasons why you might have to liquidate wholesale merchandise. The reasons could range from the fact that you're closing your business. Maybe you're moving to another location. You don't want to transport a lot of that merchandise with you. Maybe the season is over. Maybe winter is over and you want to start getting ready for spring or for summer or for fall, as it may be. So you want to liquidate the merchandise you already have. Another reason is you might have merchandise that is not as popular as it used to be. You might have bought clothing, let's say, by Reebok, and now in the local market, now Nike's becoming more popular. Or you might have bought a beautiful, beautiful selection of 9 West handbags. You already sold as many as you can to your regular customers, and you still have 29 West handbags left. None of your regular customers want to buy them, so you want to liquidate that merchandise. Or perhaps you bought a very big shipment of jeans, and all the jeans were plus sizes, and now you don't have that many plus size customers. Or you bought, what's another situation you need to liquidate merchandise? You bought a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful selection of women's Tahari suits, and you did a really good job selling them, but you have left some small sizes, some petite sizes, and some colors that your customers might not want. So you need to liquidate those Tahari suits. So how do you liquidate merchandise? Number one, you need to be very realistic about what the going rate is for those products. The going rate should not be based on what you paid for your products, because emotionally, of course, you want to recover your costs, you want to still make money. But if you have, let's say you're trying to liquidate a 9 West handbag, and that 9 West handbag costs you $25, even though the regular wholesale rate for that 9 West handbag is $100, the regular retail rate is $100, you might want to liquidate that handbag, right? You might be tempted to say, hey, I paid $25 for it, so I'm gonna charge $30 so I still make some money, or I'll charge $50 so I can still make a profit. But it's important, if you need to liquidate the merchandise, in other words, you need to sell that merchandise quickly, that you have to be very realistic what the going rate is. So what does the going rate mean? The full suggested retail price is not the going rate. The full suggested retail price might be $100, which is fine. But in reality, department stores such as Macy's might be selling that 9 West handbag for $80. And they might have a lot of clearance sales where they bring down the price down to $50. And there might be a seller on eBay, even though eBay, you have to be careful with it, because usually the sellers on eBay don't have a constant supply of that merchandise, so I wouldn't go off eBay. But still, you want to check out eBay. It's not because people still do shop on eBay, but I think Amazon is a better way to check what the going rate of a price is, of an item is, because on Amazon, there's people, whether the companies themselves, the brands themselves, or wholesalers, that have a steady supply of merchandise. So you might see that on Amazon they sell that 9 West handbag for $70. And remember, you pay $25 for it. Now, let's say you discover that during the sales season, the lowest possible price you've seen for that 9 West handbags is $50, and you pay $25 for it. So now you know that you need to sell that handbag below $50 if you want to liquidate it. Otherwise, people will just wait for the next sale, and people will have a general idea around how much it's sold for. Now, whenever you liquidate merchandise, it is important to make it very clear what the suggested retail price is, what the item is generally sold for, what the lowest sales price for that item is, and what is your sales price. The reason you do that is this way: you educate your consumer and you explain to your client that generally that 9 West handbag is sold, let's say, for $80, and even at a sales price it's sold for $50, and the lowest price you've ever seen it being sold for is, let's say, $40. And you're going to sell it for $35. Now, if you really want to liquidate merchandise, you have to be willing to sell it either at your cost or below your cost. It all depends on what the demand is for the merchandise and what is the lowest possible price someone else could buy that merchandise for. If you're in a situation where you have an item, let's say a pair of Calvin Klein shoes, and you have those Calvin Klein shoes in a color that's not that popular, if you want people to buy that pair of shoes and you're trying to liquidate it, you're going to have to sell it at such a low price that someone who might not really like that color will be willing to buy that pair of Calvin Klein shoes just because you're getting such a great deal on it. So now, and remember also, if you need to sell the merchandise by a certain time because either your lease for your store is up, you are closing your business, you are moving to another location, it's too expensive to bring that merchandise, you need to monitor how your sales are going. And the closer you get to the date where you absolutely need to sell that merchandise, And maybe it's for a positive reason. Maybe you need to sell that merchandise because you have an opportunity to buy a great closeout, but you have to buy the closeout by a certain date. So as you get closer to that date where you need to sell out your merchandise, you need to start being more aggressive as far as lowering your prices. Now, how can you sell merchandise quickly? There are a few ways to do it. Number one is you can list it on eBay, but keep in mind there's so many listings on eBay. Listings can get lost. You could pay to promote your listing. You can do that as well, but still it can be challenging. What I would recommend is, number one, call wholesalers that deal in the merchandise that you're looking to sell. Wholesalers have a network of customers, and if the merchandise is merchandise that they can sell and the price is really good, they can easily buy it and sell it to their customers. You could also use a liquidation website like liquidation.com. You could set up an account with them, liquidate or sell the merchandise. Keep in mind that it's an auction format, and I believe the minimum bid is $100, so there's a chance that your merchandise could be sold for $100. Another option what you could also do is you could, of course, we mentioned eBay. You could also set it by the flea market. Go to a flea market, and again, make it very clear to your customers what a low price you're giving them. This way, they will be encouraged to buy that merchandise from you. Another thing you could do is advertise on Craigslist. Craigslist is free to advertise, or find another similar online classified ad website like Craigslist in your market. I'm sure every market has different websites that serve that purpose, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in Ghana, whether you're in Mexico, whether you're in the Bahamas, wherever you might be. Another thing you should do is call stores and offer them what do you have for sale. Now, if the merchandise is an odd size or an odd color, it's going to be harder to sell unless those stores have customers that need that size or would like that color. Another way to liquidate merchandise is to offer it as a bonus along with the merchandise that you have that people want to buy. Now, you might not be, so to speak, recovering money for that merchandise, but it'll help you sell your other merchandise which people want to buy. And it might be worth it for you. Let's say you have $200 worth of merchandise you want to liquidate. And if you offer it for free, you're not going to get anything, for that $200. But you might end up selling a lot more of your $5,000 merchandise, right? You might, in other words, if let's say you have beautiful, beautiful brand name dresses, and you have women's hats, and the women's hats you want to liquidate, and that actually happened to me. I bought a lot of women's hats. Didn't turn out to be my item. The hats were beautiful. The colors were nice. People liked them a lot. But I just didn't really have that many wholesale customers that wanted the hats. So I gave a lot of hats away for free to buyers of my dresses. Now, technically, I took a loss on the hats, but on the upside, I was able to sell a lot more dresses because people were happy to get hats for free. So when you liquidate merchandise, you could use your merchandise to sell your good products. Remember also, you have to be very realistic. If you see people are reluctant to pay a certain price, you have to lower your price. You can also take your merchandise to an auctioneer or have an auctioneer come to your business. They can liquidate your merchandise on your behalf. Now, either when you do an auction, you could set a reserve, but then keep in mind, a lot of the merchandise might not sell, or you could do an auction without any reserve, then the merchandise will sell, but you might get a very low amount. Now, if you paid for an item, let's say you paid for that 9 West handbag $25, or let's say you have a pallet of Fruit of the Loom t-shirts, and they're all 2X and 3X sizes, and you just can't sell them. So, and let's say you paid for that pallet $1,000. Now, if you do an auction with a reserve, and let's say the reserve is $1,000, you might not find any buyers for it. Or if the reserve is $500, you might or might not. But if you have no reserve, you might only get $100, $200. That's a lot less than $1,000 you paid, but at least you have money that you walk away with. So when you liquidate merchandise, you remember, you're usually doing it because it's a last resort or because you have a better opportunity. In the case of the Fruit of the Loom pallet, if you're getting $200 and you spent $1,000, you've lost $800. But if you could take that $200 now, buy other merchandise at $200 and then sell that merchandise and then buy more merchandise, you could start growing that money again, right? So that $200 down the line could increase to a higher amount of money. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. The next time you're in New York, come visit me, closeoutexplosion.com. Have an amazing day.